Now, this independence thing is a nightmare as far as Jubilee are concerned. A total scary nightmare. Okay? Now, let me explain why, as I promised. You will remember that even before the nomination started, a lot of Jubilee politicians crossed over to another party called Maendeleo Chap. Remember that? Yeah. They said they were fearing rigging. They said they did not trust a free and fair nomination, and therefore they were crossing over early. Yeah, this is more evidence that something has been going on deep inside Jubilee, and some of these politicians, insiders, were able to see it early. Yeah, I cover that substantially in another recording. I'm just trying to catch it. Anyway, so and I also cover it in Club 1999. So just catch it there. It is fascinating. Anyway. So a lot of these politicians have crossed over to Maendeleo Chap. And these are not small time guys, eh? These are big names. Yeah? Big names. Most probably who are going to win the election. Okay? Now, when you're trying to recover from that, you have independent candidates, major people who have lost their nominations, who are now standing as independents. And not only that, they have now formed a kind of an alliance of independents. Yeah? Kenya Alliance of Independent Candidates. Yeah, that has been formed. So those guys are there as a group. So assuming President Uhuru Kenyatta wins the election, what will he have in front of him? He will have a handful of Jubilee MPs, very few, and then the majority will be independent candidates and Maendeleo Chap candidates. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Now that's very dangerous. Because as much as, in politics, there's nothing like trust. My friends, politics is a dirty game. There's no such thing as I trust. I dare say in politics, you don't even trust your own mother. Anyway, so what is going to happen with those members of parliament who are in Maendeleo Chap? Yes, they are supporting the president. The elections are over, yes. But Maendeleo Chap is a party which has its own agenda. It has got its own problems. It has got its own motivations. Okay? Now, not all the time those motivations will be on par or a tandem with those of Jubilee and the president. You understand what I'm talking about? Same with the independent candidates. So, in short, folks, what we have right now is a major crisis within Jubilee. I'm shocked that nobody has brought it out. I'm a bit surprised that people have not been able to see it. But I can assure you, the politicians, the people in power, the handlers of the president, wameiona tayari. And they're very worried about it. Extremely worried. And with good reason. This thing is almost like a rebellion. Now on your screens right now, you should be able to see the top 10 counties with the highest number of independent candidates. Yeah, Nairobi, of course, leads with 439. But now just look at the rest of the list. The ones I've marked in red with a line. Sorry, that some lines are very crooked, but you'll get the point. So the ones I've marked with red are the ones in Jubilee strongholds, or areas perceived that to be Jubilee strongholds, or areas that will have majority Jubilee votes. Okay, there's Kiambu, 223. There's Nakuru, which is 193. Of course, some people are trying to tell me Nakuru is now 50-50. No, I have my doubts, but okay, for the sake of argument, call it 50-50. 193 candidates there. Okay, Nyeri, bedrock of Jubilee, 145. Murang'a, bedrock of Jubilee, 127. You see what I'm talking about? Now, what that means is that these particular areas are going to have a very high number of independent candidates. Yeah. Now, fortunately, on the Jubilee side, I don't see it affecting the presidential results because our politics is such that, let me just give you a small illustration. Instead of giving you many words, let me just give you a small illustration. You're seated in, you're campaigning somewhere in Nyeri, okay? And you are an independent candidate, and you decide, now since I'm independent, I can do what I want. Let me change presidential candidate. I'll tell people, don't vote for Uhuru, vote for Raila. What do you think the reaction is going to be? I'm telling you, my friend, you could lose the election because of that one single statement. That you tell your supporters, no, don't vote for Uhuru. I've actually seen the other candidate has got better policies. They'll be able to rescue us out of this problem. No. You guys just vote vote for Raila Odinga. Oh, that is election lost. You've just thrown the elections out of the window. You're not going to be voted for, definitely. So, with all due respect to both candidates, I hope you have understood my illustration. So what will happen in most of these Jubilee areas, and you see in the top 10, there isn't Rift Valley there. In fact, there isn't a single. Nakuru, Rift Valley, yeah, but Nakuru is cosmopolitan, yeah? Nakuru is cosmopolitan. Okay, for the sake of argument, that's part of Rift Valley. But that's the only area in the top 10 that is Rift Valley. So really we're talking about the presidential, the House of Mumbi side of Jubilee. Yeah, majority, very many of them are independent candidates. Okay, now there's also another issue that pushes, that does not make this surprising. The finances required actually to run an independent campaign should not be underestimated. Okay, to be very honest with you, to run a realistic, not very flashy, not very whatever, but a realistic campaign for governor, yeah, will cost you not less, wait for this, not less than 1 billion Kenya shillings. Yeah, that's a fact. I know the IEBC have rules. I know they have ceilings of how much you're supposed to spend, yeah, and some of them are talking about 600 million, which by the way is not very far from 1 billion, yeah. But that figure is not realistic in a competitive election like the one we have. It is not realistic with the bad habits we have in campaigning in Kenya, dishing out money, using money for this, using money for that. It is not realistic. So we're really talking about roughly 1 billion Kenya shillings. Now, I know some very prosperous local Kenyan businessmen, and they have never touched 1 billion. And probably in their entire life, their businesses will never be worth 1 billion. But this is what is being spent on one campaign for governor. Tafakari hayo. Just try and digest that. Yeah. So, of course, in Central, we have a lot of very, very wealthy people. We have a lot of interests who would like to support a candidate, maybe not themselves, but wealthy people who would like to have some political power. Therefore, they handpick a candidate and they fully sponsor them, and so on and so forth. And this would explain why there are no qualms. This, the numbers are very high in Central. But that is not the only explanation. The main crux of the problem is this problem that was within the Jubilee as far as the nominations were concerned. It is this problem that was within Jubilee when it came to picking the candidates to fly the party flag. And this is why I've been saying from the beginning, and I've been saying this over and over again in Club 1999. Jubilee is like there's somebody inside the party who's trying to sabotage the party. This person who was making decisions, and as far as I'm concerned, up to yesterday still making decisions, is just going to wreck the party. Yeah, because this is one of the results of one of the fruits of their labor, if I can call it that. Yeah, this is a very good example of the fruits of their labor. Yeah, you go into the party primaries, you have your list. You're trying to manipulate things, or you're trying to say, oh, we don't want people with who don't have degrees, or we don't want people, you're trying to set rules, you're trying to do things which in politics are things you wait until after the elections to do. You're trying to do them in the nomination stage. Hey, how? Yeah, and this is now the result you see in front of you. Folks, this is going to be interesting. It is very sad that is as it's unfolding, we might be denied a contest which is free of blundering. But I think it's still a contest. Because in my view, by Raila coming out so openly against independent candidates, that's a big blunder. He's vulnerable because some of those people he's saying, we don't want these people. Those are people who could easily support the other presidential candidate. Yeah. For Jubilee and Uhuru, it is less of a problem. But as I've explained, it could be a problem going forward. In case they win the elections, they will have major problems in Parliament. They'll have major problems in the Senate. Yeah. So both sides, there's a problem. Okay. Currently, but to be fair, I think NASA have come out much better out of this nomination stage. NASA have come out much better than Jubilee. And you will see even through the momentum of the campaigns, the mood in the country, things are going very well for NASA. Very well for NASA. Yeah, and it's very sad, it is very painful for any Jubilee supporter to think that all this is happening not because the other candidate did some magic, not because the other candidate may be better in their campaigns and policy. It simply happened because of blunders in daylight. That is very painful for any Jubilee supporter, extremely painful. Anyway, I have to go now. I've really extended my time, but I'll do some more follow-up recordings on this, because this is going to be a major thing as we go into the main official campaign period, which starts on 28th. That's next Sunday, 28th of May. Official campaign start. Yeah, things are going to start happening, and it's good that we're all prepared. We all know what is happening on the ground, and I'll do my best to keep you up to date with that. This is Chris Kumekucha. Thank you.